The Holy Bible. How the world began. Long, long ago, there was no world, no sky or stars, not even any day or night. There was only swirling water in a huge, dark, empty space. Then God made light, and this was the very first day. On the second day, God made the sky. Under the sky was nothing but water. God collected the water together to make the seas. Between the seas was dry land. God then ordered all kinds of plants, all types of trees, and to grow on the land. That was the third day. The next day, God put the sun in the sky to shine during the day and the moon to shine at night. On the fifth day, God said that all kinds of creatures should swim in the seas and all kinds of birds should fly in the sky. He blessed them, told them to have their families and to live all over the world. On the sixth day, God made the different creatures that lived on the land. He picked up a handful of dust and made it into the shape of a man. He breathed life into it. This was the very first man. God called him Adam. God didn't want Adam to be lonely, so he made a woman. He called her Eve. In just 6 days, God created the whole world. All the plants, birds and animals and the first people, and it was all good. His work was finished. On the seventh day, God rested and said every seventh day should be a holy day of rest. Adam and Eve. A beautiful garden God made specially for them. It was full of flowers and fruit trees. God told Adam he could eat the fruit from any of the trees, except the one that grew on the tree of knowledge of good and evil. If he ate that, he would die. Adam and Eve were very happy in the garden. There was sparkling rivers and every kind of animal and bird. Adam and Eve made friends with them all. Sometimes God walked in the garden with Adam and Eve on warm summer evenings and talked to them. A snake lived in the garden. One sleepy afternoon, it slithered up to Eve and whispered in her ear, "Did God say you could eat the fruit on all of the trees?" it asked. "Yes," replied Eve, "except the fruit on the tree of knowledge in the middle of the garden. If we touch or eat those, we shall die." "You won't die," whispered the snake. "God knows that if you do eat it, you will become as wise as God." Eve walked slowly to the special tree. The fruit looked delicious. She picked one and took a big bite out of it. When Adam came up, she gave him the rest of the fruit too. Then Adam and Eve looked at each other and saw for the first time that they had no clothes on. They felt very shy. They rushed away and sewed leaves together to make clothes before they could look at each other again. That evening, God walked in the garden. "Adam," he called, "where are you?" "I'm here. I'm hiding from you because I know that I was naked." "How do you know?" "Have you eaten the fruit I told you not to touch?" asked God. Eve gave it to me, said Adam. Why did you disobey me? God asked Eve. The snake told me to, said Eve. Because you had disobeyed me, you must leave my garden, said God. You will have to work hard to grow food. The ground will be rough and stony and full of thorns and thistles. And when you grow old, you will die. God watched Adam and Eve go out of the garden. They had to begin their new hard life on earth. They were very miserable. God sent an angel with a flaming sword to guard the Garden of Eden so that no one could ever go into it again. Noah and his ark. After many years, God looked at the world he made and was sad. The people were bad, they hurt each other and did not listen to him anymore. God decided to flood the whole world so that everybody in it would drown. There was just one man who loved God and obeyed him. His name was Noah. God said to Noah, "You must build an ark, a huge boat, so I can save your family and all the creatures on earth. I will tell you exactly how big it must be." Noah did what God told him. He cut down trees and collected all the things he needed. Then he began to build his ark. His 3 sons helped him. They marked out the shape of the ark on the ground and made a wooden frame. They covered it with wood and put tar on the inside and outside to make the ark waterproof. After months and months of hard work, it was finished. It had 3 decks, a door in the side and a roof, just as God had told Noah to build it. Noah and his family loaded the ark with food and water for themselves and for all the creatures. Just as they were carrying on the last load, huge clouds drifted across the sky, blocking out the sun. Noah looked up and a few drops of rain fell on his head. Then he looked towards the hills. A huge procession of creatures was walking, trotting, creeping, slithering, or flying in an endless line. Mommy, just start again from that. A huge procession of creatures was walking, trotting, creeping, slithering, or flying in an endless line. There were 2 of every kind of animal and bird in the world. Noah stared at them. "I didn't know there was so many," he said as he watched. They filled into the ark. There was just enough room for them all. Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives went into, and God closed the door after them. Then it began to rain. It rained and rained for 40 days and nights. Slowly the water flooded the ground and the ark floated away on a huge new sea, with everyone safely inside. Outside, the water rose until it covered the very top of the mountains, and everybody and everything left on the earth was drowned in the flood. For months and months, the ark tossed on the waves of a huge empty sea. At last, the rain stopped and the water began to go down. Noah opened a window and sent off a raven. "Go and find some dry land," he said. The raven flew a very long way, but it couldn't find any dry